Edenvale traffic, SportStar India Juliet Kilo Yankee, backtracking 082, hold short of 13.
Edenvale traffic, Tango Roma X-ray clearing, active runway 13 to Delta.
So just like in the other aircraft, we both have identical
India
controls.
Romeo Hotels, backtracking runway 13.
We both have identical controls. Everything's mirrored. The only thing we share in this plane is the throttle, and which is the flap lever here. All right. But everything else, they're totally mimicked. This aircraft has electronic trim, different than the one you were flying in, I believe, because they have a little stick down here that you adjust the trim. Correct. This one is all done right here on the stick. You have a U and a D button. So that's referring to the nose. Nose up or nose down. Okay. The indicator's right there with that LED. So if I start pushing that, give it a few taps, you'll see how that starts moving. Okay. It generally only needs like 1 or 2 little taps to trim this aircraft. It trims so well.
Edenvale traffic, Tango Roma X-ray backtracking runway 08213.
We're just going to wait till this guy gets out of here, and then we're going to go back there, and we're out of here. Beautiful. What kind of engine's in this plane? This is a Rotax 912 aircraft engine. Nice. It's a 4-cylinder, 4-stroke with 8 spark plugs.
Edenvale traffic, India Romeo Hotels rolling runway 13 for the circuit.
If you were to see the engine, it's nothing like a lot of people think it would look like. A lot of people think since it's a Rotax, it's a snowmobile engine. It is not. It's built only for aviation. Yeah. And hence the 8 spark plugs. Yeah.
And Edenvale traffic, Juliet Kilo Yankee, backtracking 13.
The really cool thing with the Rotax engine is that it's also liquid cooled assist. So most aircraft engines are air cooled. Yeah. This gives you the liquid option as well. So in the summertime, it's a much stabler platform. Nice. Because, you know, water tends to cool stuff nice when it's sitting on the ground and not getting that ram air coming through. Yeah. So on the ground, I'm steering everything with my feet. You'll notice I'm really not doing anything with my hands. Yeah. It's right push of my right foot turns the nose right, left push turns it left. I have toe brakes that exist way up top here. My feet are kind of on these levers at the very top. Yeah. Once we get into flight though, and we'll get your feet on those, you'll get to feel them and you'll see what it's like. All right, so we're just gonna roll this thing down the runway and we're gonna be out of here.
Edenvale traffic, Juliet Kilo Yankee on the roll 13.
So we're at full power. I'm just steering the plane with my feet. Right now, just giving a little bit of pressure on my right foot because the plane always wants to yaw over to the left. And we're off the ground. Awesome. Oh, what a smooth day for flying. Yeah.
Edenvale traffic, Tango Roma.
Getting rid of my flaps. I no longer need them anymore. We use those to take off.
And Edenvale traffic, India Romeo Hotels established left downwind for runway 13. And Edenvale traffic, Juliet Kilo Yankee, airborne off of 13 with a left turnout towards Midland, climbing to 2000.
Now 600 feet over the ground. So I'm watching this guy here. Here's my altimeter. Just in case you're not aware of how they work, I'll let you know. We calibrate them on the ground before we take off. Okay.
Beach, doing upper air work at 3,200 feet.
Just wanted to hear where that other guy was, so he's over Wasaga Beach.
Approaching altitude.
So before we left the ground, I calibrated this to the sea level of this airport. This airport sea level is 714 feet. So hence I put that little blue marker there. That's where our ground started.
Altitude.
Now we're 1,100 feet over the ground. We just do simple math on it. When you see that needle at the 7, that's exactly 1,000 feet. Now we're 1,100, 1,200, 1,300 coming up now. Yeah. But when pilots talk to each other, we talk to each other based on sea level. Okay. So if I'm going to report my altitude to another pilot, I just tell them what it says on here. So right now we're at, now I'll go up a little bit more, 2,200 feet. So if I was to call out to another pilot, I'd say we're at 2,000, okay, almost 2,300. Okay, so we're now, give or take, 2,200 feet above sea level. Okay. And that's the thing I tell all the other pilots that we're at. We don't worry about doing the math, knowing how high the ground is. It's a safe bet to know anywhere in this area of southern Ontario, ground is anywhere between 700 feet and 900 feet above the ground, above sea level. So I'm just going to trim the aircraft to make sure it's not wanting to climb constantly or descend. Actually, it's pretty trim right now. I'm letting go of the stick and it's kind of flying itself. Nice.
Edenvale traffic, Tango Roma X-ray turning left, crosswind for runway 13.
And I'll make one more radio announcement to those guys, let them know that where we are and where we're going.
And Edenvale traffic, Juliet Kilo Yankee, departing the zone to the northeast at 2,200 feet en route to Midland.
I just switched over radio stations to the Midland area so we can hear all the planes in that area. Awesome. All right, Josh, if you want to give this thing a try, get your left hand on that stick, feet on those pedals. And the aircraft is fairly trim right now. Let's just go out straight a little bit more until we get away from the airport a little further, and then you can start doing turns, whatever you want to do. Awesome. You have control of the aircraft, so all good. Oh, you're spoiled today flying on a day this smooth. This is nice.
Oh, it is.
The other day I was up here and the turbulence was so bad, your head's almost hitting the top of the canopy.
Oh, yeah.
It'll rattle your nerves, man. Even if you have a lot of experience, it just kind of sucks when you're jumping and bouncing. And
I can imagine.
So just so you know, this aircraft is in knots. So we're not talking kilometers per hour. That's nautical miles per hour. So we're doing 80 knots. If you know mile per hour at all, 100 knots is equal to 115 miles per hour.
Right, it's pretty close.
Yeah. So yeah, we're 15% difference, right? So right now we're only doing 80. I have a low RPM setting. I'm going to bump it up just a little bit faster there. But in kilometers, we're probably doing 150K right now over the ground.
Nice.
So it's a good way to get places pretty quick. Feels like we're barely moving, but we are.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
I'm surprised on such a smooth day today that there's not more aircraft up here littering the sky.
Yeah, really, eh?
This is a beautiful day. So you obviously figured out pitch control. Pitch is the up-down of the nose. And you already know what the stick does for left and right turns, right?
Yeah.
Has anybody ever really showed you what we use the rudders for?
A little bit, but not that much.
Okay. So if you have a good idea of what you're doing now and you're going nice, straight, and level, I'll show you what the rudders will do. So we're just going to give a gentle push of your right foot down, and as you do that, allow your left foot to come up, because it's on a gimbal. It does one of these, right? Balances. So if you give right pressure, you have to let your left foot come up. And what you're doing there is you're steering the tail of the aircraft. You're skidding it out to the side.
Oh, okay.
A lot of people might think, why would I want to skid the tail of the aircraft in a certain direction? Well, the reason why we want to do that is we want to compensate for winds. So if we had to fly to a far location and we had a map, line on a map, and you want to get there, you can imagine if the wind is coming from the right side, which it is today, it's blowing us this way, we would be drifting slowly that way and off our course. So to compensate for that, we would give a little bit of a right push of the rudder. We're steering the nose a little bit into the wind.
Romeo Alpha, Romeo.
Therefore, we're tracking along the ground straight, but the plane is crooked from when you look at it from the ground, right?
Yeah.
Maybe 1 to 2 knots from the northeast, and traffic has been using 13.
Okay, 13, Romeo Alpha Romeo. We're currently over Creemore at 2,800 inbound for Collingwood.
Now the indicator that tells you what your tail is doing is right there. See that little ball?
Right.
We call that a turn and slip indicator, or a turn coordinator. When the ball is off to the left, that means your tail is hanging out to the left a bit, and that's fine. It doesn't have to be in the center.
Okay.
Because we're deliberately doing that to compensate for wind pushing us. But whenever we're starting to do nice slow turns, the ideal thing a pilot wants to do is keep that ball in the center. The way you do that is all with your feet. If you want that ball in the center, we use the term step on the ball, so that way you don't forget what foot to use.
Okay.
So if you want the ball in the center, you step on the ball since it's over there, so you use your left foot, push it, and you'll see that ball will come into the center. That means we're now in coordinated flight.
Okay.
But coordinated, look what's happening. We're drifting this way now.
Yeah. Right.
So that's why we use the foot, right? We use that foot, we're crabbing into the wind. We're allowing our thrust of the engine to sort of pull us into that wind, so we're compensating for wind drift.
Right.
For regular flight, it's not crucial important unless we're going a far distance, but whenever it comes to taking off and landing, it's very important to learn how to use those foot pedals, because that's what steers that nose of the plane straight down the runway.
Gotcha. Ah, the Y Mars.
Yeah. You have great control of this thing, and you're holding the stick perfectly. Most people get in the plane and they grab that thing like they're...
Collingwood traffic, Romeo Alpha Romeo is over the field at 1.
And that's the hardest way to control an aircraft. Once you muscle that stick, you're going to overcorrect on everything you're doing. If you just gently hold it with like 2 fingers, you got her. You got her perfect.
I like to drive cars fast, and same idea. You can't you touch it too much.
Yeah, if you bear hug that steering wheel, man, you're done.
Yeah. I drive an 88-300 ZX.
Oh, beautiful.
Nissan.
Yeah.
It's needing some work right now. I'm doing it up. But she likes to go sideways.
Oh, yeah. It's a drifter, huh?
Well, for now.
Yeah.
I also have a Jeep. That's my vehicle that keeps me going slow.
That's it, yeah. Keeps you honest.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're coming up on Midland. The town of Midland's right up in there.
Yeah.
Right over here is the Midland Airport.
Oh, yeah.
It's right off our right side. You can probably see the runway there. So we just don't want to get too close to the airport, as long as we just stay away from their vicinity.
Okay.
Collingwood traffic, Romeo Alpha Romeo is turning base 13, Collingwood.
We can, but then I got to get on the radio and start doing a lot of talking to let them know we're in this area.
These roads are a lot of fun. These are the tiny beaches roads.
Yeah.
They're just all the way.
Yeah.
You know, at the right time of night, of course.
Yeah.
Romeo, Romeo, thanks.
Any questions for me on how about an aircraft or about flying in general or anything?
Not really. I don't know.
Okay. If you think of anything, ask away.
Collingwood traffic, Romeo Alpha Romeo turning final 13.
right off that point, there's Christian Island.
Yeah. Been there many a times.
Yeah.
I do a lot of driving.
Yeah. Cruising all over Ontario, huh?
I try to go as far as possible, but
might as well, huh?
we're limited by gas money.
Yeah, that's
capable
right.
cars.
Yeah.
And a lot of buddies that live around this area. I live in Edenvale, so it's
Okay.
we're doing a lot. We do a lot up here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a nice spot up here.
It's good. It's good. A lot of back roads.
Yep.
We were down in Toronto last night till about 1 in the morning. But yeah, Toronto's too many cops.
Yep. Yeah, it takes you an hour to go 10 kilometers in Toronto.
Yeah. Wasn't too bad, but I've been down there when it was bad.
Oh yeah. Have you tried doing a turn in the aircraft, like all the way around?
This is Foxtrot to the 80 Kilo, System 172. We're about 8 miles east of the field at 2.5, descending. We'll cross over at 2.3 to come around for the mid downwind for 13.
If you want to do anything like that, go for it, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm not going to let nothing happen. The key thing to remember whenever you're doing turns is try not to get your eyes in here. Try to just look forward and see what the aircraft is doing. You sort of should have a sight picture now of where the horizon roughly should be. And that means we have a level aircraft, right? So you see kind of the water's right around here somewhere on your windscreen.
Yeah.
When you're doing the turn, it should still stay here. If you notice the water coming up to here, you know you're descending. Right. And if the water disappears down to here, you know you're obviously climbing, right?
Okay.
And yeah, turning becomes, it's a bit of an art form. You start your turns, and generally people have to get better and better with them in time. You'll start a little bit of a descent in the turn, and then we perfect our skill by trying to do it without losing any altitude at all. Right. So right now we're at 2,900 feet. And if you just want to test your skill, try to do a whole turn all the way around and see if you can still maintain that 2,900 feet without peaking at this too much. Just kind of look forward, right? But right now, I can tell just by looking forward, you're climbing just a little. So just put that nose down a little bit. There you go. Nice. Very nice, man. Look at this guy, a natural.
Calling with traffic due to the Yankee Kilos, crossing the shore at 2.3. We'll cross over to the dead side and come back and join mid downwind for 13.
This is an awesome turn, man.
Thank you.
It looks like in total you lost about 60 feet, and that's it. That's amazing. Most people will lose 300-400 feet in a turn.
Really?
Or gain 300-400 feet.
Huh.
Approaching altitude. Leaving altitude. Approaching altitude.
That's just her. Anywhere I put that little blue indicator, she'll talk to us. So I'll just bring her there.
Okay.
So what we don't want to do is go into the cloud. As long as we stay below it, we're good to go.
Try to descend a little?
Yeah, sure. So as you're descending, just like a car, we're going downhill. I'm going to throttle back because we don't need all this RPM to go down a hill.
Right.
And calling with traffic due to the Yankee Kilos over the field at 2.3. We'll descend to circuit height and come back, join mid downwind for 13.
Approaching altitude.
That should put us underneath the clouds, I think. Maybe.
So close.
So you'll notice once you get to that level, so here's a decent level here, 2,400 feet. I'm just going to add power again. What I'm watching when I do that is my tachometer right there, right?
Right.
This thing likes to cruise at 4,600 to 5,000 RPM is a good cruise range for the aircraft.
Okay.
If I really want to give her, I can go up to 5,500 RPM, but there's no point to do that because we're just going to burn a lot of fuel for no reason.
Yeah. That's...
Yeah, in order for us to fly through clouds, we have to have a license that they call an instrument rating.
Okay, I've heard of that.
Yeah, and the plane has to be equipped for instrument flying. These aircraft are not allowed to be equipped. That has to be certain type of lights.
Traffic to the Yankee Heels over the field.
Certain type of lights in the aircraft have to be certain type of instruments. And since we don't have those, we're not allowed to legally go through clouds.
Makes sense.
They do that to keep us safe from not colliding with another aircraft that could be in there.
Right.
Because in theory right now, there could be a guy with an instrument rating playing around in those clouds practicing, and we will have no clue, and then we'll ram into him, right?
Okay.
With traffic to the Yankee Kilo, turning mid left downwind for 13.
Did I hear your mother correct? You do mechanical work?
Yeah, I do auto body and
oh, nice.
Do a lot of my own stuff too.
Yeah.
Cars are my thing.
Very nice.
I've had about 9 cars in the past 3 years.
Haha. Wow.
I get in trouble for that, but...
Yeah. Insurance company must love you.
Yeah. I did have a clean record for a while. I was doing good.
Yeah.
Got a rental impounded back in the winter.
Traffic to the Yankee Kilo, turning final 13, full stop.
I've been up here a lot, but I've never actually been on the island.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's like.
Not much there, really. Like, most of the houses are all on this side right here.
Oh, okay.
And the others, like the rest of it's just all bush.
Huh.
I know they got the ferry that takes you over there.
Yeah. There's the ferry right there where it docks.
Yeah.
I guess that's, that'd be a Wendell Park, I think.
You know, I'm not sure the names of the parks. I know that that's Thunder Beach.
Yeah, oh, okay. Yeah.
Unless there's a park in there called that, but...
Wendell must be farther then. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I have a couple of students that are right from here, Thunder Beach.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Calling on traffic to the Yankee Kilo, backtracking 13.
Yeah, actually that makes sense. I'm just, it's different seeing from the sky.
Yeah.
Little mini golf course in there.
Yeah. A small private little golf course.
Oh, there's some rich people up here in this area.
I see that.
Big houses.
Yeah, some of those houses are out of control big.
Oh yeah, and you think Midland, you know, being like a sketchier town, there's not a lot of money.
Yeah.
But no, there is. There's people up on the water side that
oh yeah,
quite wealthy. Well, there's a McLaren that drives around Midland sometimes.
Oh wow.
Proves anything.
Nice. I was amazed to see how many trees are up here.
Yeah.
And on the summer, you don't really notice it as much. At this time of year, you really see it's just all trees.
Yeah, I guess they're also a lot more distinctive, I guess, with all the different colors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny, as a pilot, it's beautiful to look down and see the landscape. But a pilot's always also worried about, where am I landing if my engine quits?
Yeah.
So I'm looking here and I'm like, there's nowhere to go.
No.
There's nowhere to go.
Altitude.
There's a field way back over there. That's about it.
A couple roads, but you'd have to be pretty accurate.
Yeah, accuracy is usually not the problem. The problem is wires. You can come in and get to the road easily, but it's to avoid any of those hydro wires.
Makes sense.
Now this aircraft has a wingspan just shy of 30 feet, so yeah, you could fit on most roads, but it'd be tight.
Take the poles out, likely.
Yeah.
Or the poles will take you out, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you wouldn't want to be bouncing into them.
No.
Now, the one good thing with this aircraft, it's fairly new. The engine is fairly new, so I don't anticipate any form of engine failure in the near future.
Nah, not in the road tax.
No. If it was a two-stroke, that's a different story. Being that it's a four-stroke, it's pretty reliable.
Yep. I think that must be a Wendell Park. I think that's Kettle Beach.
I think so. Yeah.
What it is about one of these beaches in a Wendell Park, it's a little like water, one of those, I think. There's an echo in it that's absolutely amazing.
Really?
It bounces about 5 times with like a good pause in between, like for an echo anyways.
Yeah.
I've never heard anything like it, but it's just a flat lake.
Wow.
I'm not really sure what causes it or what kind of terrain's behind it. I don't know. Really neat though.
Yeah, strange, huh?
We were there at 2 in the morning one time testing the echo and the park showed up.
Yeah.
Supposed to get out of there. I guess there's time limits on the places.
Yeah. Yeah, you're controlling this thing like a boss, man. You're just left, right, whatever you want to do. You know what you're doing.
I'm calm, right?
That's the key.
Yeah.
That's the key, man. Just to be chill with it.
I never noticed all those islands before.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where you can really see the transition. That's where the official Canadian shield starts, right? That's the granite punching through the ground there.
Yeah.
And on this side of the water, it's not. That side of the water is granite all the way up until Ottawa, right?
Yeah.
Ottawa, North Bay, Northern Ontario, this whole Canadian shield area.
Amazing. Fun to drive through.
Oh yeah.
Done a lot of jeeping up in that area, the Muskokas and stuff, right?
Yeah, there's some cool spots there, huh?
Oh, just amazing.
Some rock climbing, all that stuff.
Oh yeah. That dirt trail down there.
So that's Penetang down here, down this harbor here.
Right. That's the super jail.
Yep.
Waypoint and stuff.
Traffic 36 Foxtrot Hotel Papa Delta is approximately 3 miles southeast of the field at 2003.
Yeah, if you want to take pictures or whatever you want to do, man, yeah, you'll need shades too.
Yeah.
And calling with Unicom, Whiskey Fox Yankee.
Leaving altitude.
If you want to set that up, I can take control. If you need to. It's up to you.
It's good. I was going to take one or two pictures.
All right. Or if you want me to get a shot of you
And
flying from out here, I'll hold the camera here.
Whiskey Fox Yankee.
Yeah, might as well.
All good to go?
Thanks, huh?
Yeah, we're Cherokee 8 miles to the southwest and advisory.
Approaching altitude.
I got 3 of them for you, just so you can pick the best of the 3.
Perfect.
Okay, check 31, Fox Yankee. We'll see coming up overhead.
I can't tell if this is a bee in here with us or a fly. Oh, it's a fly.
Oh, that's good. I think I went down that road like last weekend. All dirt and stuff.
Coming right up on top of Midland here.
Oh yeah.
Approaching altitude. Leaving altitude.
Don't worry about her.
Okay.
Approaching altitude.
I'll move that so she doesn't talk to us anymore. I'll set her up to 3,000 feet.
Okay. That works.
We could be really at any altitude we want in this area. This is what we call uncontrolled airspace.
Oh, okay. That's
So
cool.
until we get as far south as, say, Newmarket, we could be at any altitude we want. We can be up and down, low, side to side. Once we get south of Newmarket, we have to be in contact with the Toronto Tower.
That makes sense.
They tell us what to do, how high to be, how fast to go.
Get a picture of Midland here.
Yeah, man. That's one of the big benefits of like flight training and stuff north of Toronto, because you don't get stuck with having to ask permission for everything, and you can get in the plane really quick, take off the runway, and go start doing things. But a lot of those flight schools near Toronto, they gotta get permission from the tower, and you're paying for that, because once you start the plane, the clock starts, right?
Yeah.
And so you're sitting waiting for your turn on the runway at a busy airport, take off, then you have to fly all the way to a practice area, and then start doing your practice. Here, it's practice area right away.
Yeah, really, that's awesome.
And calling with traffic, Whiskey Fox Yankee coming up overhead 2000.
Still can't get over how nice this day is for flying.
Oh, it's amazing.
Turbulence is very low, barely anything. Just a few little bumps, that's it.
Yeah. I guess that's Little Lake, but I never really realized that was a marsh.
Yeah, it's a big, big marsh there.
Yeah.
That's where the natives used to do all their fishing. That's why they built that village.
Saint Marie among the
Saint Marie
Hurons.
among the Hurons is right there, sort of where it turns into water at the end of the marsh.
Right, okay.
Whiskey Fox Yankee overhead.
I'm surprised I've never noticed a massive marsh right here.
We're going to be landing on 31.
I think it's hard to notice because there's no real roads that go where you can see it, right? The roads are so far away from it.
Huh.
Look at this, and you even have a good sense of direction. We're actually going right back towards the airport.
Airborne off.
I know this area well too, but yeah, my sense of direction is
heading northwest down towards Lake.
a wee bit better than my buddies.
Yeah.
I'll say that. Fine.
And Fox Yankee, check that.
Not a lot of people I find have that great of a sense of direction as I thought it was natural.
And with
No,
Fox
it's
Yankee
not.
turning left downwind for 31.
I used to think it was natural too, until I really started doing a lot of flight instructing.
Really, yeah.
And I noticed that it's usually, like the ratios, 1 out of 20 people have a good sense of direction.
Yeah.
It's rare, it's rare. A lot of people, the second I get the plane off the ground, they're lost. And you know exactly where we're going. I'm sure you'd probably tell me the name of that lake over there too.
That's our lake.
There you go, look at this guy.
That's 90. That's 92 out of Midland, or is that 27? I don't remember the names.
I think you're right about 92, but that is Ore Lake, yeah?
And
Yeah,
calling with
that's
traffic with
definitely right.
Fox
So yeah, that
Yankee,
is
turning left,
92.
runway 31.
That would run up.
Yeah.
No,
Not
Wyville's
Wyville.
over
That's
there.
right, Wyville's there.
Runs through Ore Lake, Perkinsfield, Craighurst.
Perkinsfield, that's it.
Then you're on the 400 on your way to Barrie.
That's it.
In a car, I can do most, like, pretty much anywhere within 2 hours of here. I can get you
Yeah.
without a map. And I mean, I'm only 20. Like,
Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. Good skill to have if you ever want to get into aviation, man, because a lot of people really slow down when it comes to navigation training.
Really, eh?
Yeah.
And calling with traffic with Fox Yankee, approach the turn final, 31 full stop.
And it's a big hurdle for them to cross. They just have a tough time with it.
Huh.
I guess I was a bit of a nerd when I was young because I used to like looking at maps and studying them.
Yeah.
You know, a nice straight-on two-dimensional map, right?
Right.
And yeah, I guess even back then I noticed my friends didn't do that, but I like to do that, right?
Yeah.
And it really helped to get up in the air. I kind of know where I am at all times, right?
Well, exactly. See, my generation, like, we don't really see two-dimensional maps.
I
It's all
know.
on the phone.
Yeah.
But I mean, if we're going somewhere, I'll pull up the map and I'll study the look at the map for 10 minutes and go, okay, you know, let's do this.
That's right. Huh?
You know, and,
Sort of understand the grid patterns of the roads,
Yeah.
where they go, right?
I have a map I bought at a shop in Edenvale.
Short final, 31.
Literally, it's an old two-dimensional map about, I think it was 87 or something, and it's about 20 feet, 10, 15 feet long. Rolls out, it's
Oh,
about
awesome.
5 feet wide, and yeah, it's from about Barrie way up north.
Oh, that's
The
great.
whole area, yeah. Picked up for like $10 or something. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is cool. A bunch of other maps. I have nautical maps of the waterways up here. I
Okay.
found in an abandoned cabin.
Yeah, see, you're a natural for this kind of stuff then.
Yeah.
Other people look at that stuff and it's worthless to them, right? They just throw it away.
Oh, I love maps and geography. Like, geographical stuff is just amazing.
Yeah, big hurdle cross, man. If you can figure that stuff out just by that, and that you're interested in it, it makes being a pilot that much easier.
Yeah. Guess it would, eh?
Oh yeah,
There's good old Edenvale.
that's right.
You can't really see on the picture.
Oh, we'll go right over top of it. And you watch out for giraffes next sticking up.
Right.
I don't know if you've ever been curious about what happens in the event of an engine failure.
I feel like you still have your rudders, no?
You do? You actually have everything.
So yeah, it's kind of what I figured. So you can easily calm it down where you want it and land it.
If you want, I'm not going to shut it off, but I can simulate it for you. Just to get rid of any heebie-jeebies you may have about the fact that...
Oh, I don't have any.
Okay, so this is all I'm going to do, is I'm going to reduce power right to full idle.
Right to full idle.
The engine's not doing anything for us anymore. We're gliding. So if our engine died, this is what would happen. So our job as a pilot is to slow this aircraft down to 60 knots. We do that by pulling back on the stick. And this will give us our ultimate glide performance.
Really?
So there's ultimate glide almost right there. If it starts going slower, we just put the nose forward a bit. Put the nose forward to speed it up.
Oh, that's right. We're going to...
There you go. So this is the angle we'd be going towards the ground. So now you and I would be saying, where's there a good spot to land? We'd be looking, that looks like a good field there. We'd probably do a nice circle, come in and land.
Oh yeah, that's...
These SportStars are amazing for glide.
Yeah.
Like, you can just see how great this is gliding. A heavier Cessna, we'd be more nose down right now and running out of time quick. We'd be getting closer and closer to the ground, so you really want to pick your field fast. This aircraft, we have a long time to pick our landing spot.
That's pretty awesome.
So that was it. That was an engine failure right there.
That's cool.
Fuel the Gulf is leaving the area over the
I'm just adding power again for you.
Beautiful. That's awesome.
Yeah, a lot of people have the misconception because the movies do a real terrible job of teaching people stuff. The movies show an engine quits and you see the plane start going down, right?
Yeah.
And that's pretty damn rare. The only planes that usually drop like a stone are stuff like the space shuttle. Because it doesn't like to fly. It's like really a big flying brick.
Yeah.
But the ones that have nice wings sticking out, they glide. They glide nice and smooth. Yeah, see, that's a perfect turn that you're doing. These are great.
Awesome. Show you where I live.
Oh, yeah. It's always cool seeing your place from the sky, huh?
Yeah. So, that's the next shot. Little one in the corner across from all those long buildings.
Okay.
That's a mink farm across the road.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's a great spot.
It's pretty decent. I like it. We used to live in town of Edenvale, and I hated it.
Yeah, no, it's nice to get some privacy, right?
Yeah, like it's close to 92, but man, like there's a whole tree line there.
Yeah.
And then I got some nice dirt roads down here when I go test out my cars.
That's it, huh?
There's no houses on the dirt road at all, so I go down there and blow a couple donuts, see how she's running.
That's right.
It's awesome.
So we still have a bit of time. We don't have to head right back to the airport.
Okay. I don't know what time we're at or anything. I just...
we got 10 more minutes or so.
Okay.
We can go off that way if you want, towards Barrie a little bit.
Might as well.
I'm just trying to think ahead because the only thing I got to think of is when you come into the airport, there's an actual procedure we have to fly to enter into land.
Okay.
And we call that the circuit. So you can't just go for the runway you see. You got to go for the runway that's favoring the wind. So in the case of Edenvale right now, we took off on runway marked 13. And the reason why it's marked 13 is that's the compass heading, 130.
13 degrees?
Yep, yeah, well 130 degrees, right?
Okay.
So we just omit the 0. We drop the 0 to make a runway easier, so we're only putting 2 numbers on it, right?
Yeah.
So theoretically, when the plane is sitting on that runway, this compass will say 13.
Okay.
Right?
Oh, okay.
And the way we know which one to pick is we always want to land into the wind. So whatever direction the wind is blowing at, we pick that runway that favors that. You always want more air flowing over the wings. That's why we fly into the wind. If we fly with a tailwind, we get less lift. Therefore, we're landing faster speed. You can do it. It's just you're going to be screaming pretty fast if you have wind pushing you.
I see what you mean.
You want that wind to be slowing you down.
So you're kind of like, woo.
That's right. And it's keeping lift because it's blowing wind over these wings, keeping it aloft. Right?
Makes sense.
Now, I'm sure that the wind has not changed much since we took off. I can always call up the airport and check. So, but for today, I don't think I'm going to bother doing that. I'm just going to switch over to their station and know that we're going to have to enter into the circuit, which is a certain landing procedure where we do left turns.
Okay.
So initially we want to be parallel to the runway. Then we're going to make a left turn called base and a left turn called final.
Okay.
We're in the right direction to do that. The further we go this way, then if we make a turn in the direction of the airport, we'll be coming straight parallel to the runway we're going to be landing on. I'm going to switch over to their station just to listen to see if all the other pilots are still using runway 13.
Okay. Oh, there's Phelpston.
Yeah. think that's Snow Valley right in front of us there. It's hard to see, but
yeah, that would be.
Yeah.
Edenvale traffic, Tango Roma X-ray turning left crosswind for runway 13. Edenvale traffic, Challenger Indy Triple Whiskey, turning final for 13 for a full stop. Edenvale.
So everybody is using runway 13 right now. So we have to find a way to sneak our way in between all these people doing that circuit.
Okay.
What pilots will do is once they get this kind of stuff mastered, this flying around stuff, then they spend the majority of their career practicing the circuit. You take the plane off, make a left turn, another left turn, one more inland. So you just fly this rectangle in the sky.
Oh, okay.
So you're practicing takeoff, landing, takeoff, landing, takeoff, landing. And it's just like drills, right? You're doing drills to get your skills really sharp, because the most important thing to really learn is how to take off and land. Right? So that's why pilots will do that. They'll come up on a weekend day like this, they'll go practice it for an hour, and then maybe they'll go fly somewhere.
Okay.
So we have to sneak in when they're doing this kind of rectangle around. We're going to jump into that rectangle.
Downwind for runway 13 full stop.
I will make a radio announcement to them right now and let them know where we are and what we're doing.
And Edenvale traffic, SportStar India Juliet Kilo Yankee, 5 miles east of the field, just over Midhurst. Inbound for landing. Enjoy the straight end downwind, number 13, currently at 2,200, descending to circuit height.
So you might see the airport from here.
Yep.
So that runway we see over here is not the one we want. We're going to be, there's the one that goes on an angle this way.
Okay.
So we're going to go a little further this way. And then at time I'll let you know. Usually whenever we're about 3/4 of a mile or about a kilometer from being straight in line with it, we're going to make a right turn and kind of fly right parallel with it and past it.
Okay.
Edenvale traffic, Challenger India Triple Whiskey, clear of the active 13. Edenvale.
And the other thing we have to do to be legal is we have to lower this aircraft down to 1,700 feet.
So drop the throttle down a bit and...
Yeah, I'll reduce the throttle for you.
Okay.
And just allow that nose to kind of start coming down. So we're doing a perfect descent right there. Your airspeed's nice, not getting too fast. See, it's right there, 91, that looks good. If you push the nose down harder, it'll just speed up quicker.
Right.
And then I would reduce more throttle because there's no point screaming down. I want to try to let you fly as much as this procedure as possible.
Okay.
Edenvale traffic, Tango Roma X-ray turning final for runway 13 full stop.
So here is your altitude.
Edenvale traffic, Challenger India Triple Whiskey, crossing over 0826 for the ramp. Edenvale.
So we'll start a right turn now. I'm going to add your cruise power again. And what we're going to do is just fly parallel to that long runway. Kind of off towards the grain silos there up in...
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. But now we're officially entering what we call the downwind. The theory is the wind should be at our butts pushing us this way right now.
Okay.
And holding 1,700 feet. The reason why we want to hold 1,700 feet is so it's not the Wild West here and everybody's at the exact same altitude when they're doing this procedure. So therefore, we would be able to see anybody else coming in. They would be directly in front of us.
Okay.
Or they'd be at our exact same altitude right next to us coming towards us.
Makes sense.
And Edenvale traffic, Juliet Kilo Yankee established left downwind at 13. Edenvale traffic, any Romeo hotels in the backtrack 13. Edenvale traffic, Tango Roma X-ray, clearing, active runway 132 Delta.
So the purpose of us doing this maneuver is obviously collision avoidance from other aircraft. So nobody's allowed to come in right off our right wing here and go this way. They have to come out the way we did, enter this way, and we're all on a queue.
Right.
So if there was somebody in front of us, we would see him. Somebody behind us would see us. And from here, we get a chance to visually inspect the runway that we're going to be landing on. We can see that there's no animals on it. There's one plane sitting on it and ready to take off. He's all the way at the beginning of the runway over here, on the far right end. But he's no danger to us because he should be long gone by the time we're ready to land.
No traffic in your Romeo Hotels rolling 13.
So we're at a really nice distance, perfect distance from that field, looking good. Maybe just a little bit of a turn left so we're not drifting too far. Yeah, just a little bit left. Keep her a little close to the runway. That's it. Alright. Right there is nice. Once we get on a 45-degree angle from the beginning of that runway, that's when we do our next turn, which is called base. We do a 90-degree turn in that direction.
Okay. Maybe approaching 30 degrees here. A little bit more. Right around here, you can start your left turn. 90-degree left? Yeah, and just try to hold that altitude of 1700.
Edenvale, traffic Juliet, Kilo Yankee, turning left base, 13, full stop.
So this is where, just be loose on your feet. I'm going to start working some of the rudders so you can feel what I'm doing.
Traffic, Tango Romeo X-ray, holding short of 13 on 0.
90-degree turn or a little more?
No, this is good. A little bit more.
All right.
We want to go almost straight in this direction.
Right,
yeah.
Okay.
So this is where I got to start slowing the aircraft down so we can get our flaps on.
Okay.
So all I'm doing is throttling back, but trying not to lose altitude. So we just pull back on the stick and you'll watch that speed start slowing down. Once it gets touching the white arc here, that means it's safe for flaps. See right there?
Yeah.
So I'm just going to put the nose forward just a little bit. Now I'm going to put my first stage of flaps on. We have to stay in that white arc when the flaps are on. So here's my second notch of flaps. Adjusting the trim, and you still have the stick, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So we want to keep this speed around 65, and you can see we're descending nicely here. 65 is our key. If it starts going too slow, we push the nose forward. Right. So now we're going to do this turn here. I'm going to do it with you, but you can keep your hand on the stick.
All right.
Edenvale, traffic Juliet, Kilo Yankee, turning final 13.
I'm putting a little bit of left rudder in here, just to steer that tail with the plane. Trying to hold her at 65, and now we're slowly just lining up with our eyesight what this plane is doing. Our speed is controlled with our stick. Our altitude is controlled with our power. So if I feel we're sinking too quickly, I'll add power and it'll keep us aloft.
Okay.
So you feel the sink happening now?
Yeah.
So watch what happens when I dial a little bit of power.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Our speed is still the same, 65, right? Well, it's gone a little bit faster.
Yeah.
But now I'm going to be right off the power, and you'll feel the sink happen. This is almost like, this is just like a dead engine.
Okay.
Sinking, sinking, sinking. Now I feel we're getting a little low, so I'm going to add a little bit of power because I don't want to be hitting any of these trees.
Edenvale traffic on Costa uniform is about 5 to the north over Wasaga Beach, 2,500, doing some upper air work.
So right now I'm right off on the power. Absolutely no power happening. I'm watching that airspeed. 65, trying to steer to the center of the runway. I'm still just flying the aircraft with 2 fingers. I'm just looking forward, trying to keep the plane floating.
Right.
I don't want it to touch the ground. And all of a sudden it will. See how smooth that could be done?
Oh yeah.
They just set her down.
Edenvale traffic, Tango Romeo X-ray, backtracking runway 13.
So now what I'm doing is I'm using my toes up on the brakes.
Right.
And I'm digging my toes in up here on these other levers that are sort of part of the pedals. They're hard to see. Maybe you'll see when I turn. Might see it on this one here.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean.
I'm just going to make one more announcement.
Edenvale traffic, Juliet, Kilo Yankee, down and clear, active 13 on Delta to the main ramp.
And if you want to feel what it's like to steer the plane on the ground, feel free to put your feet on those pedals. Nothing more needs to be done with the stick.
Okay.
And just kind of feel what I'm doing. There's a left turn. There's a right turn.
Oh yeah.
And you can understand that this could probably get pretty snaky if you start going fast.
Oh yeah.
Because it gets out of control quick. It's controlling the nose wheel, right?
Right.
And since it's just like a little tricycle, it can get real fast into a speed wobble.
Oh, definitely.
So you always want to make these motions really, really small.
Yeah.
All the power is still produced by here, right at my throttle. Right now I'm at total idle. Just coasting along. I'm applying brakes now. I'm kind of digging my toes into there.
Edenvale traffic, Tango Romeo X-ray rolling on runway 134 circuit. And Edenvale traffic, Juliet Kilo Yankee crossing 0826 to the ramp.
So how was that, man?
That was amazing.
Good stuff. You're good at it. You are very good at it. One of my good friends, I've been trying to flight train. He's got about 12 hours under his belt. And yeah, you're already flying better than him. He gets so nervous, right? And he's squeezing the heck out of the stick. And he's overcorrecting everything, right?
Yeah.
But there's only so many times I can tell somebody, you gotta relax, but you can't force somebody to relax, right?
Yeah, no, definitely.
Just like a car garage.
Traffic, Tango Romeo X-ray turning left crosswind for runway 13.
Simple, just like that.
Awesome.
Pressure.